Hello, it is me. I'm doing the answers part of this hoopa-doopa-doopa thingy that I've done that's called questions and answers. You all have asked questions. I will provide answers to the best of my extent and willingness. Hopefully that goes out well. These are being technically recorded separately. Every single answer is having its own separate recording. Most of them should be relatively short. I'm going to be doing a bunch of editing on this so I can provide video that may be relevant to the answer that I am giving. So yay. If there is any video, otherwise there's just gonna be nothing. Because I'm lazy and I don't have the webcam recording at the moment, otherwise I would put my face, my ugly face up on there. But yeah. So yay! Hopefully these answers are good enough for those of you who asked the questions, and let us begin. Hello. I don't know why I said hello again, because that would be silly, because I've already done the intro recording. But still, Max Mustermann, with 2 N's, asked, how old are you, if I may ask that question? You may ask that question. I am 22. As of this moment in time, I am that age. That was the easiest question ever, but there you go. Divinations91 asked, Akasha seems like a person that has been around since the beginning. How did you meet Akasha? I met Akasha when she wandered into a live stream, not a bar. She hasn't actually been around from the beginning, but she has been here for a while, as far as I'm aware. And she can feel free to reply to your comments if she desires. As far as I'm aware, Final Fantasy X was the first series that she popped into. So that was when she came around, so it was quite a bit after the beginning, but quite frankly, most of the people from the beginning watch Supreme Commander and then bugger off somewhere else. I don't know where they all go, but most of the people that were around from when I first posted Supreme Commander are long since gone. World of Tanks people are still here, some of them, like Martin. He's a World of Tanks guy, so he's been here for quite a while. Also the only person to ever donate to me. But that's not the question. The question was Akasha, and she's been here, as far as I'm aware, since Final Fantasy X. And she is quite loyal to the live streams, which is why you hear about her so much, because I talk to her during the live streams. So there you go. Yay! jkshrg, otherwise known as jkshrg. I don't know how you pronounce that, but he asked, or she, or they asked, will you ever do Supreme Commander, Forged Alliance, UEF, and Cyberin, or not at all? And why are you so awesome? So for the first part of that question, I've done one of those. I don't remember which. I believe it might have been Cyberin. But the footage had to be deleted because I'm an idiot and a nincompoop, so that caused me to lose that and my Men of War stuff. Which were both very popular. In fact, they were the large source of my views, but the whole series had to be deleted. I started to do Men of War again, but I said no. I did Forged Alliance with a different side, Aeon, you may have noticed that. The reason, and I've explained this many times, the reason I'm not doing the other 2 for Forged Alliance is that very little changes. All of the missions are exactly the same. You have the same objectives, you have the same teammates. The only difference are slight changes in the dialogue between some of the characters. For instance, the one with Dostja's mission, if you're not Cyberin in that mission, the dialogue is going to be different than if you are Cyberin. But it doesn't change the actual gameplay or any of that stuff. It's any of the campaign missions or anything itself, so no, I won't be doing that. Why am I so awesome? I don't know. Personally, I don't really think I'm awesome, but there seems to be a large portion of people, I say large, but it's like maybe 4 people or something, probably more than that, either way, regardless, that think I'm awesome. I don't know why, but people do think I'm awesome, and maybe you should ask the commenters. There you go, the commenters can answer that question for you. I just blabber incessantly into a cheap Logitech headset, so I don't know why that would make me awesome, but regardless, hopefully that answered your question sufficiently enough. Yeah. So Craig Darmondy, hopefully that's pronounced right, the last name, asked, why are people this stupid, and then provided a link to the Tech Syndicate Build a PC forum. And my answer to that question is, because the internet. That's it. I can't really answer why people are stupid, but it's the internet, there are stupid people, You know how many people ask me how to do something, which is the first result on a Google query of how to do something? People are stupid. And or lazy. And or both, which is even worse. But regardless, they're stupid because it's the internet, and the internet makes people stupid. It also makes people smart, but that would require the actually research thing, and nobody does that anymore. DCH12 Hiram, I don't know. Hopefully that's close enough. One of those. Asked, what are your PC specs? And sorry if you've answered this already. I've answered it many times, in fact, to many different people, none of which apologized for asking, so thank you. It's actually on my website as well, if you want to feel free to visit that. It's in the link. There's a link in all the descriptions in all the videos ever known to mankind. But to answer it here, my computer is custom built. Well, I shouldn't say custom built. I put it together, but that's not really custom built. There isn't. It's just stuff, plug-in slot thing. Here goes stuff, and stuff works magically. But it is at the current moment, it has a AMD FX 8320, which is overclocked, so it's basically just an 8350. Excuse me. And cooling that is a Hyper 212 Plus in a push-pull configuration, so fans on each side of it. There's a 120 behind the push-pull, there's a 140 above the push-pull, so there's 4 fans technically cooling the CPU. That thing generates a lot of heat, and I'm in a very hot location, so that's not very helpful. For RAM, I have 8 gigabytes. I wish I had 16. I wish I had a better everything in this computer, but I don't have that kind of money. It has 8 gigabytes of... what is it? Black Mamba, I believe is what it's called. So 1866 megahertz Black Mamba, 8 gigabytes. It's two 4 gigabyte sticks. I have 2 empty slots. I cannot fit one in one of the slots because the cooler is in the way. Silly design that is. Graphic card is a Radeon HD 6850, which is stock clock. So I can't overclock that. I don't have the heat threshold limitations and stuff like that. I don't have excess cooling on that thing in this kind of heat. The power supply is some old Raid Max. I don't actually remember what it is, but it's a 650 watt, I believe. So it's barely powering my system. It's not efficient in any way. It's not gold or even bronze certified. There is a 120 on the front, which has a red glow. Actually, one of the 120s on the back is white, and there's a red 120 on the front. I wish they didn't have lights, but they do. I've also got an optical drive. It's an ASUS something or another thingamajig. Don't ask questions. The motherboard is... again, don't ask questions. There's more specifics on my website if you want to get super detailed into the motherboard manufacturing and crap like that. But it's not, it's like a $80 motherboard or something like that. It's nothing fancy. Cable management sucks, because I did it back in the day, and I can't be bothered to go in there and fix it for a computer that's this old. I'll do a better job once I get a new computer, which will be ages from now, because I have no money. Anyway, it's got a 1 terabyte Western Digital, actually no, sorry, 1 terabyte Seagate. It's not a Barracuda, it's whatever their other line is. Not a Death Star. It's like the one. It's a relatively slow one. Let's put it that way. I cannot record 1080p because the hard drive is too slow. But that is my Steam and recording storage drive. Also got a 120 gig Corsair Force 3, I believe. So SSD. Unless I said that earlier, in which case just ignore that I said it twice. That is my boot and, Premiere Pro, Photoshop, that kind of stuff, that kind of quick boot dealio that I need for all those programs. So that's that drive. I think that covers it. Well, actually, let's talk about everything else attached to it as well. This is going to be a long answer. It's not the longest, probably, but I've got 2 monitors. I've got a ViewSonic that I just recently got for Christmas. This is 23-inch, or no, 22-inch, I believe, something around there. And a really old E-Machines, which has been my monitor for ages. Yes, E-Machines. I don't even know if they exist still. That is also the same size, same 1080 display. So I've got 2 monitors hooked up to that old 6850. That thing's just chugging along. That's a good graphics card, I tell you. I've got a cheap eMachines keyboard. You can hear me hit on it there, possibly, not really sure. It's all clackety-clickety thing. I don't think it's mechanical, but it makes a lot of clickety-clacking. I've got my Logitech G400 mouse that I won from Wargaming's little competition thing back in my World of Tanks days, because everyone else sucks at that game apparently. I have a Logitech C310 for a webcam, which I've used previously. It's not terribly good quality, but I don't have an ideal setup for webcam usage because there is a window sliding glass door behind me. And for the headset, which you are hearing me speak into right now, it is a actually, let me, just to get this right, I believe, I don't even know, it's an H something, it's on my website, whatever. I was gonna look it up, but it's gonna take me too long to do that. I think it's an H3 something, I don't know. Something in that range. It's not too it's like a $40 headset or something. It's done me well, but I need to replace it at some point. And that should round off. I've got a 360 controller as well. I use that for some games, but that should round off my computer answer. Hopefully that answers everything you wanted to know about it for the most part. Specific details for more things that I may have missed can be on the website. Yay! Sethannon, also with 2 N's in the middle of it there, seems to be a thing with double N's, has asked, Dear Sleepy, like how he starts that, when did you realize you are and were awesome? Did you always know? Was it a sudden realization, or did the knowledge of your awesominity, I guess, slowly make itself clear to you over time? As previously stated to somebody else whom I've already forgotten, good job memory, I don't know why you all think I'm awesome. Or why you would think I think I'm awesome. I blabber into a microphone, people watch my videos, people tell me I'm doing it wrong, I get mad at them and post an angry comments and rage and fury. I don't think I've ever actually posted an angry comment, much less had rage or fury. At least not on the channel. I've had it outside of recording, but let's not talk about that, shall we? So I don't know. I started recording videos. Whenever I started recording videos, you can use that as your answer of when. There you go. Can't really answer that question anymore. Jezereth has asked, what's your top 3 games of each genre? And if I did that, that would take me like an hour and a half. So what I've done is I've taken my top 3 genres, and then given you either my top 3 series of games, and then whatever game in it, or games in general. Hopefully that's good enough for you. I really only play a few genres anyway, so it'd take me forever just to get up some games in some of those genres. So strategy, racing, and RPG. One of those 3 I don't think I've ever done on my channel. You might notice. Why? Because racing games tend to have the same problem sports games have. And that's that the music in them is all licensed. I cannot record licensed music from games. If it's the music made for the game, sure, but if it's P. Diddy singing about some money and coke or something, I don't know what he sings about. I don't know if he actually sings, but let's not get into that argument. I can't have that, so sadly unless I just mute the music in the game, which is kind of meh. I guess I could, I don't know. I can't have it on my channel. But anyway, for strategy, which is the biggest of the 3, which is also why I listed it first, the Command & Conquer series is probably my favorite. And you're going to notice something interesting about this list pretty rapidly here, given the stuff that's on my channel, but the Command & Conquer series is probably my favorite series in strategy and in everything in general. It's pretty sure it's actually one of the first games I got into, seriously got into back on the N64. It was Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn, I believe is what it was called on the console version. Or actually no, it was at the PC version. I think that might have been the PC version. Either way, it was that game that I got into it. But my favorites would be Tiberian Sun or Red Alert 2, which are incredibly good games for that series. They're great. They really are. You should go play them if you haven't. In fact, Tiberian Sun is free. If you did not know, Tiberian Sun is free. You can download it, play it, do whatever you want with it, doesn't matter. Red Alert 2, I believe, is not, but Red Alert 1 is. Red Alert 1 is also a good one to play. Tiberian Dawn is also free, you might expect. Also good. They're all good. It's freaking Command & Conquer. The early days of Command & Conquer were fantastic. Loved it. But also Total War series, notably Rome, Shogun 2, and Medieval 2. I've not played Medieval 2 on my channel, but I really quite like it. It's large. It's pretty large scale in the grand scheme of Total War games. And it's got Siege, which is great. Medieval Siege, really good. Much like Rome's Siege, in fact. Shogun 2 loses out on the Siege battle, but they're also just the era that it's in. I really like that era of Japan. It's pretty interesting to me. But also Sins of a Solar Empire, which I've done a little bit of on my channel, but not a whole lot. Is in the top 3 on my strategy list. Why? Because it's massive. It's pretty well balanced, except super weapons, which break the game, but you can disable those by modding the game, in fact. But it's well balanced. There's some diversity, very little, but there's still some diversity in the nations, and it's just great fun to play that over a long period of time with, you know, like an 8-player match or something. I'm hoping Planetary Annihilation brings that and mixes it in with Supreme Commander, where, you know, you've got all the different planets, you got massive matches and stuff like that. The reason Supreme Commander is not on this list is due to the way it's coded. It's coded quite badly, which detracts from pretty much anyone's ability to play it. Even with modern computers, massively powerful computers, you're still going to get simulation slowdown at some point, which kind of removes the ability to play long, intense matches over really big maps, because the simulation will just explode on itself. But I really like those 3 series / games, if you will. But also racing. I really like racing, which I've never done any of for reasons previously stated. The Need for Speed series I really liked. Again, the earlier days, the better, in my opinion. Notably, Underground 2 and Underground 1 were extremely fun for me. Just the way it worked and the customization and all that cool stuff, all that grand swell times back in the Need for Speed Underground 2 days. In fact, pretty sure I still have my disc and case, which has a little hole punched in it, sadly. I don't know what happened to that. Maybe it like squished into a corner or something, but whatever. But also Gran Turismo is a fantastic racing game. If you've not played it, I don't know where you've been, but whatever. The only ones I have played are 3 and 4, and I really liked both of them. 4 kind of improved on 3 in some aspects, but also lost a little bit, in my opinion, but it's still fantastic. It's also got the that cool thing where you can have the AI race it for you, and if you don't want to do like really ridiculous races that you're probably going to win anyway, you can just have a little AI race it for you, which is a nice feature, especially for those really long races where you might not want to do it, you know, 3 or 4 times to get up some money. There obviously have to pay the driver, but still, it's a nice feature. I never played 5. I'm not even sure if 5 is out. I don't have a PS3, so it's irrelevant if it is, or if it's even good. I don't really particularly care, because I'm not sure I ever will have a PS3, but regardless. Other than that, also Dirt 2, and I'm going to pair it with this, Grid. Why am I pairing them together? Because I can, quite frankly, and they're equally fun to me. Grid 2, I don't know if that's going to be as good. There's no internal, like, dash or head cam, or whatever you want to call it, driver cam, which is disappointing. Don't know why there's not, but there's not. It's a little disappointing, but Dirt 2 is probably, in my opinion, the pinnacle of that series. Dirt 3 is not bad, but it dropped off a little bit for me in terms of fun the first time through it. Dirt 1, obviously, Dirt 2 is an improvement on that pretty much all the way around. And then Grid is just a great... I really enjoyed playing Grid's campaign. I don't know why, but I really, really enjoyed playing Grid's campaign. Plus, it's a pretty nice looking game, and it's got the damage model and all that kind of stuff that you might want. For those curious, yes, I play racing games with a 360 controller. I would play them with a racing wheel if I had one, but I don't, and they're expensive. For good ones anyway, they're expensive. So I can't do it with keyboard. It doesn't feel right. Well, I could, but not as well. And I do really, if you couldn't tell from my Grid 2 thing that I mentioned, I really, really like playing them from the driver cam. It feels much better to play it that way, also much more fun. But besides those two genres, you can see why it would take so long to go through all the genres. We'd be here for hours. There's also RPG, which is, you know, kind of expected given what's on my channel. But my top of that list would be the Final Fantasy series, and notably from that series, 6 and 9. A lot of people didn't like 9, but I really did. I don't know why, but I really liked 9. A lot of people really like 6, and there's a good reason for that. 6 is very, very good. It is probably, arguably still, but it's probably the best Final Fantasy game. I'm pretty sure Plump Helmet Punk, I may have mentioned this previously, but he did a playthrough of 6, if I'm not mistaken, so go watch his playthrough. It's very, very good game, very, very good RPG, very good Final Fantasy. It's just good all around. Everything about it's good, the story's good, the combat's good, the balance is good, it all feels good. Good times in Final Fantasy VI. I'm just gonna ooze praise on that game for the rest of the time now. But also the Tales of series, and notably Symphonia. I haven't played a lot of Tales of, but I really enjoyed Tales of Symphonia. I don't know if that's the best. I haven't played all of them. Obviously, I don't have easy access to all of them, especially since some of them are on handheld devices, like DS, I believe, has one, or Game Boy Advance. No, not Game Boy Advance. DS. I'm pretty sure it's just DS. PS3 might also have one or two. They're spread out among many consoles, in fact. They're all over the place. But Tales of Symphonia I really liked. There's probably better ones. I may do a Tales of Symphonia playthrough, I don't know. And someone's gonna argue that this last one shouldn't be in this group, but whatever, I need to clear my throat. Now that we've had that lovely dead air, people are gonna argue that this last one shouldn't be in here, and I don't care, but they're gonna do it anyway. But Diablo 2 is in this list of RPG games. It is an RPG. Someone's going to try and argue it, but it is an RPG. Specifically, it's an action RPG. But if you want to get technical, we're not actually splitting this RPG into different subgenres, because that would take even more days. But Diablo 2, incredibly fun. It's a good game. It's great. It's Diablo 3, no. Diablo 3 done gone and ruined everything, and my screens went off. There they go. Diablo 3 ruined it all in many, many ways. It's much better since it's been patched, but it's still no Diablo 2. If you want a good Diablo game, if you want a good action RPG, that is where you go. In fact, Diablo 1 is still even probably better than Diablo 3 in some instances. But still, Diablo 2 all the way, great action RPG game, really enjoyed it. Also something that might occur in the future, along with Tales of Symphonia. But regardless, hopefully that answered your question well enough. I could spend another, like, 7 hours if we were to do every genre. But I just did the top 3 genres, and then the top 3 series/games in those genres. That should be good enough, I suppose. I hope, because I've already recorded it now. Yay! I get asked this a lot by a lot of different people. What emulator do you use? What emulator are you using? Etc., etc. on different videos. If it's a PlayStation 1 game, I am using EPSXE. That is what I am using. You can see the video of my setup for it on this channel. The Sleepy Tutorials channel, specifically, for those of you watching this somewhere else, I don't know. I also use PCSX2 for PlayStation 2 games. Again, you can see the video for that. And that's basically the only two I use in large quantities. I've used other ones like NES emulators or N64 emulators periodically, but you're better off just Googling those because I don't have a specific recurring setup for those emulators, and I sometimes even change between emulators depending on which one works better. But those are the two I use. Those are the two I will always use, because they are the best for what I need to do, which is play games. Yay! As a note, PS2 emulator is not backward compatible with PS1 games. Much the PS2 itself is, the emulator is not. So keep that in mind, you need 2 separate emulators. Regardless. Akasha, in an attempt to troll me, which she does all the time, has asked, what do I look like? The answer to that is this. Graysfang asked, what made you want to start doing all live gaming and such? Also, where can I join you in the games? Well, I play games, and I watch people who were doing this a long time ago, like Seamus, whatever his name is, SSOHPKC, I believe it's Seamus. Jeff Major, stuff like that. People from a long time ago have been doing this for a while. I liked it. I figured, I play the games, why not try my hand at this? I've gotten much better, in my opinion, than when I first started. Also, the audio, not my ability to speak, apparently, but audio quality, video quality, that kind of stuff's gotten better. I feel like I've improved. I'm enjoying it. I really like the live streaming part of it, which is why I've started doing that so much more than previously. In fact, I do it basically every day I can for many hours most of the time. Also, where can you join me in the games? If I'm playing a multiplayer game, such as, sorry I had to swallow there, swallow before you speak. Whose line quote right there. Anyway, distractions all over the place. If I'm playing a multiplayer game, I'll usually be doing, and it's open, I'll usually be doing it on a stream, such as PlanetSide 2, Dota 2, World of Tanks. Those are all going to be multiplayer stuff that I'm doing recently, or soon, or in the future, or previously. You can join me on those whenever I'm playing them, usually, or certainly when I'm streaming. I encourage people to join me for those, so that's how you can do that. If I'm streaming, you can see the name. If I'm not streaming, I guess you can see the name somewhere else, I don't know. Or I'll post on Twitter or something when I'm playing and I'd feel like playing with other people. But anyway, that's how you can join me. Only certain games, obviously. It's not like I'm going to invite people into Shogun 2 willy-nilly while we're recording, not that you can. Or stuff like that, but if I'm streaming something like PlanetSide 2, you can join me if you really want to. And that should hopefully answer that question. And that is the end of the Q&A thing, at least for now, in this video form factor thingamajig that I have done here in an attempt to be creative. Hopefully that answered your questions to a good enough extent. If it didn't, you can put a comment below and I will try to answer it further, or something. I keep inhaling, I need to stop doing that. But anyway, I hope this answered your questions. I enjoyed answering them. I will do these in the future as well. So hooray, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.